Housing. Again, another major issue for this council, and as Councillor Green's explained, we try our hardest to help those people that really are struggling to live in Umbridge. When you talk about affordable housing, that's a bit of a misnomer in Umbridge. It's very difficult for young people and key workers to work in this borough, but we are doing our hardest to do it. I think working with our housing association partners, this year we are going to deliver 180 affordable homes. Now that is quite an achievement for this council. I will compare that with last year, we delivered 1. We don't build homes, we're not allowed to build homes. Therefore, we have to work extremely hard and support financially those housing associations, and hopefully they will be able to push forward with the delivery of these affordable homes. And say 180 is a huge number. We also set up last year EBC homes. Now, as I said before, we as a council are not allowed to build homes, but we have set out an arm's length housing company which will enable us over a period of time to provide affordable housing, whether we can do social housing or other things, but there'll be a mixed tenure, some market housing as well. It's one way of us creating more capacity within the housing market because we're not allowed to build ourselves. We're also looking to the local plan as we develop that to see how we can push developers into more affordable housing contributions. The difficulty we have with them is they always come back to us with affordability, viability studies. This is difficult for us. They will prefer to give us money, albeit on a reduced scale, rather than provide the actual housing. Now, land in Elmbridge is expensive. We need the houses. So I think part of our local plan as we go forward would be to encourage policies which almost put developers on the back foot so they can actually deliver affordable housing, just not just money. Tackling homelessness. The government set up in 2018 a Homelessness Reduction Act, which we have adopted at the end of the last year, and that's our strategy on coping with homelessness. Much of it is to do with preventative things. We try to look at people's social circumstances. We work with other agencies, particularly the charity sector. We work with Elmbridge Rent Start, the Walton Charity. All these people are working with us to try and reduce the number of people homeless or sleeping on the streets. Currently there are 10 in Elmbridge. I'm hopeful that the policies we are putting forward will help those and hopefully reduce it down to 0. We have recently, under EBC Homes, purchased 5 properties for temporary accommodation. And temporary accommodation, again, those people that unfortunately have to have temporary accommodation, we do not want to send them to B&Bs in Slough. So we've got to try and create capacity within Elmbridge. And again, that is one of the targets that we've got. Supporting independent living. We've got an aging population. We have policies and things to help the disabled to stay independent. One of the things as pride of this council is we have 7 community centres. That is a huge benefit to this council and to its residents. It enables people to come together, not only socially, but there are many other things that we do for them in those community centres. We also have a handyman scheme, which carries out minor works on behalf of those who need our help. And in the first half of this year, we completed 684 jobs, which is quite amazing. They're all small jobs. So over the year, we anticipate that will be close to 1,000. Now we also have to acknowledge there are growing links between health, healthy living, social care, hospital admissions, etc. So we're working with all our other partners, and it's actually one area where we are all coming together to encourage people to support this independent living. streets. I think changing the high streets, partnerships and direct support. We all know the challenges that Elmbridge faces, as are many other high streets across the whole of the country. Huge challenges. And sometimes we're sort of fools to ourselves. We all like shopping online, I think most people do. But the high streets are struggling. There's no doubt about it. People talk about business rates, they talk about rents. These are contributing factors. Also, the cost of parking, the availability of parking. All these are added into the mix as to why our high streets are struggling. In the short term, we have our officers working extremely hard with the local business organisations because they want their high streets to survive. So over the last couple of years, we've got 4 major grant schemes that we've introduced. We've recently started a digital high street fund, and over the last few years we've made about 50 investments. 250 businesses have been helped, and we've invested just over £1.3 million. So in the short term, we're doing our bit to support startups and local businesses. We continue to engage regularly with business all the time to find out what they need and what they see as us, what we can provide for them. We also had the Elmbridge Food Festival at Paynes Hill Park, which 8,000 people attended. That is a real bonus to our businesses, the food retailers, as well as to show people what this borough actually can provide. We've also secured funding for the Brooklands Accessibility Project, and that is about £3 million, which will improve walking, cycling, bus routes, the connectivity between the Brooklands Development Park and Weybridge Station. So that's another way that we can help people, bringing people together and pushing money into their local economy. We've also setting up the Walton Business Improvement District. This is a new venture on behalf of the council. Many other councils have started it on a much larger scale, but we are still working it through, and hopefully it will encourage businesses to come forward and join the scheme, and we anticipate that the scheme will generate about £800,000 to be invested in the Walton area, in the Walton business area. So again, it's another positive way forward. So what's the future of the high street? I think it's a question we all like to ask ourselves. What do we want from our high streets? The problem we have is busy development sometimes pushes through changes in properties when the retail side goes, housing comes into place. Whilst that's good for housing, it might well kill our high streets. So we have to have a much broader, honest conversation as to what we want from our high streets in the future. We've recently set up a working party of members, and that group will be reporting at the end of this year, and it's their ideas how we then help, as a council, move forward to help businesses. They've engaged with national people, they've engaged with local business people to find out, again, what they want from us to help them to make the high street survive. The difficulty we have in Elmbridge, as compared with Woking or Guildford or Staines, is we have 7 distinctive settlement areas. So we just can't focus on one area, we just have to look across the whole broad thing. And therefore it's sometimes much more difficult to come up with one solution that suits all. So we have to do it on a case-by-case basis, and that does take time, but I can assure you that is what we're doing. Community well-being, helping people in Surrey to lead healthy lives, supporting people in Surrey to fulfil their potential, and supporting the mental health and emotional well-being of people in Surrey. This strategy has been really pushed by all the major partners that we work with: NHS, Surrey County Council, all district and boroughs, the police, the voluntary groups, because we all acknowledge that if we have a healthy community, that must be good for us overall. This new strategy going forward is much more of a preventative nature. We're looking at housing, we're looking at environment, we're just not simply focusing on treatments or the symptoms. We just have to look at what we need to do to ensure that people feel comfortable in their own homes, back to what I said before, and that they want to lead healthy lives. In fact, one of the things that come out of initial reports is that clinical care only makes up about 20% of the contribution to health outcomes. That's quite surprising for me. So there are plenty of other issues that we've got to focus on to help people have healthy lives. There's several priorities. The first one is we have a healthy walk scheme, exercise and fall prevention classes, volunteering for all opportunities for all ages, provision of allotments, provision of wide area, lecture series, public art, choirs, etc. So these are all areas where we as a council can facilitate, help, promote across the whole borough to encourage people to have a healthy existence. We also want people to fulfil their full potential. We have play schemes and holiday schemes. We have Surrey youth and school games. We have a wide variety of voluntary sector arts and drama groups. We have a relief carer scheme which enables carers to fulfill their full potential. And as I said before, we have 7 community centres. Many councils do not have this, but it is certainly, as I say, the jewel in our crown in terms of the support we give to those people. We also have voluntary sector funding. Now this council provides about £500,000 per year to small and large voluntary groups. £200,000 of that goes to the 2 CABs. Now the CABs, again, is part and parcel of us supporting the vulnerable. If you look at what happens when people have money troubles, that sometimes leads to other issues, homelessness, divorce, things like that. This is where we are very keen that the CAB is well supported. And that money we give forward to all the voluntary organisations. Again, we give about £250,000 to them. We have evidence and proof that it generates about 4 times that £1 million in value to this community. One of the things we're doing, and also to increase the amount of money that is available to voluntary sectors, we're starting the Elmbridge Lottery Fund. I hope you will all buy tickets, because that again is another way of generating income for these voluntary groups. This money will be over and above the money that we currently do. So it's not there to replace the current support we have, it is there to increase the support we have to the voluntary sector.